What a big day yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin up nearly 10%. Does that mean we are back in a full uptrend? Welcome to Altcoin Buzz Trading. I'm Randy. No, it does not. It does not mean that we're back in an uptrend. It's what I call snapback. I'm not sure how many other people use that terminology, but I think it fits nicely. So the day before yesterday, we finished off with a pretty darn red candle, and then yesterday we get a pretty darn full green candle, almost negating one another. Maybe not quite. It's hard to say, but the thing about these types of candles in these areas are people get really excited about them, and I understand why. You get excited because it's a big number, 9%. A lot of things were up pretty big by the end of the day yesterday, but coming out of lows like this, and immediately out of lows like this, and coming back into the middle of the range that we just presented, just built essentially, is tough to deal with, and it's not an entry signal. There's no edge that I'm aware of that comes out of snapbacks in the way that this happened. If you were really astute, meaning you would have already noticed this before I did or you did, listening to me talk in this video, you would have noticed that we went down a little bit yesterday in lower volume. But that in of itself isn't necessarily a bottoming buying signal. But if it's something you follow religiously, maybe this was an entry signal for you. For most people, it's not. For most people, it's just random choppy garbage. I saw it, noticed it a little bit, but it was fairly consistent selling pressure. So no need to get really excited. And then we start rallying tremendously. And if that starts getting you excited that you missed out on a buy down here, then one of two things happened. A, you either missed your entry, in which case this was your strategy and you didn't follow it closely enough, in which case you need to wonder why and revisit your strategy and look for better entry signals, or see how you can add to your entry signal list. Or number two, it wasn't your trade. And if it wasn't your trade, don't feel bad about it. It's as simple as that. So each of us have strategies that we try to employ in the markets. It's called an edge. Your edge on the market is something you should be very comfortable with, something you know for a fact works, something if you and I were to argue and I were to tell you that your edge was garbage, you would argue back at me just as, very vehemently. You would get mad. You'd be like, no, it doesn't. You don't know what you're talking about. So that's how you stay out of being mad when you don't buy these lows. It wasn't your trade, okay? And the fact of the matter is a lot of people are going to feel mad. Oh, I should have bought this. I should have bought that. No, you shouldn't have. If you have that feeling, it wasn't your trade and you shouldn't have bought it. The fact you didn't buy it was a good thing, okay? Because if you buy this 9 out of 10 times, you're going to lose 9 out of 10 times because you don't know how to deal with it. And that's not an insult. It's just stating that this wasn't your trade. You're going to have a trade that you're comfortable with. It wasn't yesterday's trade, and that's fine. That's actually good. If you avoided this trade and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool, that's up 9%, that means you're on an even keel mentally, and you're not letting the market play games with you. Okay? Not that the market's doing anything, it's the fact that you've seen enough garbage in the market to know that this wasn't your trade. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm not telling you to trade this. I'm telling you to not trade this. I do that a lot on this channel, which is probably not what you should do on channels. But there's a lot of garbage out there that try to get you excited and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. That yesterday's action was not something you should have bought, unless that was your strategy. In which case, why didn't you buy it? But those are the two situations. It was your trade or it wasn't your trade. That's it. Now today, a little bit of a difference for pattern traders. This is an actual pretty good bull flag. You do have high volume coming in here, and you do have low volume in the consolidation. This in of itself is a bull flag on a 2-hour time frame. If that's part of your skill set and part of your strategy, you can trade that, no problem. Okay, this could be your trade. It could also fail, as every trade could. So from that perspective, this stuff doesn't even necessarily matter if you're just looking at this particular trade. So this could bounce up into resistance and fail and still be a very valid trade. 100%. 100%. So the market right now is in a choppy place. We've been here before. We've been here recently. We've been here over here where the chop was a lot less volatile. We were here, looks like about, what, 3 weeks ago, give or take. Where we popped up through the 62,922, then came all the way back down, wiping pretty much everybody out, and then rallying back into new highs before shaking them out to about the same level. So one of the negatives here in the bigger picture is we're getting a little bit more wide in the price action. We're not remaining tight. Okay, now we can overcome wideness by maintaining lows and then getting tight, but that can take a little bit of time. And like I mentioned, this is a bull flag, but you do have resistance here, resistance all the way back up into the high. And then once we get up there, uh, this very likely isn't the scenario where it rallies all the way back on through. So if you want to buy it now and wait to sell it at 150,000, this may not be the best time to buy. This isn't a big macro signal what we saw yesterday. There's nothing about it that really screams this is definitely the low. There's no doubt about it. Like that's really not a thing. Nowhere on this chart on any of these indicators does it say that. So if you're feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit like you lost and you missed out, you didn't. There's going to be other days. There's I'll give you a little bit of perspective. In terms of charting, you have this much time ahead of you to trade. All of this chart hasn't been printed yet. And so, anyway, I could just see a bunch of people with that snapback feeling anxious. I just wanted to address that. I don't have a lot of trades for you, but I do have one other coin to show you, JUP. I'm not sure the name of it actually. I think it's Jupiter with a Y. But let's take a look at that real quick. But that's what I wanted to mention with BTC with you guys is that big, good snapback day yesterday. Hopefully, it could bring some stability to the markets. That would be nice. Last time we had a big snapback here, we did bring some stability. We got a little shorter, a little tighter, false breakout. Then we did move up for a few days. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and it rolled over. The best situation now, I think, would be if we didn't go back and test the all-time highs. We just chilled down here for a while, forming a beautiful base. All right, JUP. This one's pretty interesting. I do like this name. We have this at 87.45. Moved up by 85% to the 161, and then now it's kind of forming a nice consolidation. Volume signatures are pretty good. We did get some distribution here. No problems there, though. Declining volume as we're consolidating. So I think a lot of people know about this name already, but if you don't, here it is. Put it on a watch list. I don't think it's actionable right now, but I think as this market hopefully consolidates and gets more quiet, this will start to look a little bit more attractive. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I want you to have a good day. I want you to stay safe out there and give yourself some grace that you didn't buy every bottom that's ever existed. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow on Altcoin Buzz Trading.